Hello, English 3. As we read My Last Duchess, I want you to have a little background about the writer of our poem, Robert Browning. Robert Browning lived during the 19th century, with My Last Duchess being first published in 1842. The bulk of Browning's writing before 1846 was written for the theater, with his major poems often being dramatic monologues, just like My Last Duchess. A dramatic monologue is a narrative in which only a single character is speaking. Browning is considered one of the most noteworthy poets of his time, the Victorian era. So, what is the Victorian era? The Victorian era refers to the reign of Queen Victoria in the United Kingdom. English literature during this era is considered by some to have been in a golden age, particularly for novels. Literature of this era reflected many of the major social transformations taking place during that time. Continued industrialization, scientific and technological advances, and changes in class structures were all changing the ways people lived and related to one another. As a result, the Victorian era often saw writers draw their attention towards social issues, such as wealth disparity or critiques of their changing social structures and the role religion played in society. So when reading My Last Duchess, keep in mind that this work is both a poem and a dramatic monologue. The speaker in the poem is a character, and the speaker's words are all we can use to access the world of the poem. With that in mind, you're going to have to read this a little differently than the nonfiction texts we have read before. This poem is much different than the speeches of Booker T. Washington or Elizabeth Cady Stanton. In My Last Duchess, the speaker, setting, and audience are all revealed inside the writing, not by historical facts outside of it. And you could be led down a very confusing direction if you assume that Robert Browning is the speaker of the poem, because he is not. Robert Browning is not the speaker of the poem, even though he's the writer. So on that note, I would caution you not to fixate on Browning as a person to try to figure this poem out. While you can read a lot on the internet about what Browning's inspiration may have been for the poem, don't let Browning's inspiration distract you from the unique world of the poem itself. While the Duchess may have been based off a real-life Duchess in the 16th century, the poem is a dramatic work all its own, and you can learn most about the work by focusing exclusively on the words and phrases contained within it.